I'm the Messiah. I am. Marvel Jesus. Welcome to Watchmo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the more adult-oriented fare. Made in part or whole by companies owned by or distributed by Disney. This is your chance to be a hero among heroes. Number 10, The Rock. The Rock is the most famous, and was the most Fiat Prius, have a bell. One consistent theme throughout this list will be how the Disney Corporation has historically circumvented associating its brand with our rated fare, be it the establishment of sub-corporations, specifically television and film arms such as Hollywood Pictures, enabled the House of Mouse to retain financial windfalls from adult entertainment, while still keeping the Disney brand squeaky clean. Drop the gun. Alright, drop your bombs. The Rock was one such picture. An early effort from director Michael Bay that combined his stylish, creative past in music, video, and commercial production with slam-bang action cinema. It totally works too, thanks to a cast that includes Nicolas Cage, Michael Biehn, Ed Harris, and Sir Sean Connery. Tell your men to safety their weapons. Drop them on the deck. I cannot. I'm not going to repeat that order. I will not give that order. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Number 9, Dead Presidents. Hey buddy. Came by to see you a little early, but you weren't home. This 1995 directorial effort from the Hughes brothers. It was co-produced by Disney-owned Hollywood Pictures, and was also distributed via the Mouse's own Buena Vista Pictures distribution. The film itself is a violent, yet compelling tale of a disenfranchised Vietnam veteran. His financial and familial struggles push him to the breaking point. 6:00 a.m., the truck pulls out of the post office at 149th and Grand Concourse. Now it makes one stop before it goes to D.C. The robbery scene that occurs in the climax of Dead Presidents is expertly executed as a striking visual example of how it succeeds at combining character study with intense action. Who knew? The folks at Disney had it in them to distribute this kind of movie. Oh man. Whoa. Oh. Hey, thanks Kirby. Number 8, Starship Troopers. Who thinks they got what it takes to knock me down? It would be easy on the surface level, at least, to label 1997 Starship Troopers as simply another alien-focused action film. Yet director Paul Verhoeven's adaptation of the 1959 novel subverts expectations, thanks to a smart screenplay by Edward Neumeier. Snakes killed more people today than I fucking care. Yeah, well, I hear they look good. Whose top kick? The satire levels are on full blast here, as Neumeier script pokes holes in fascist and authoritarian ideologies, while also never forgetting to be entertaining as heck. Oh, and Starship Troopers is unrepentantly violent to boot, echoing Neumeier and Verhoeven's past with RoboCop, leaning into the horrors of warfare. It's wild to think about how this film was co-produced by Disney's Touchstone Pictures. Here, make them count. Number 7, Pretty Woman. Look okay. Something's missing, isn't it crazy? How certain films progress from the screenwriting stage to the finished product. The original idea for 1990 Seconds Pretty Woman had screenwriter J.F. Lawton envisioning a dark and comparatively gritty tale of a Los Angeles sex worker. Fast forward to the film's eventual production under director Gary Marshall, and you have one of the most successful romantic comedies of the 90s. What do you do, Edward? 'Cause I know you're not a lawyer. Pretty Woman was a star-making turn for Julia Roberts, thanks to the light-hearted tone between her and co-star Richard Gere. Still, the fact that this film centered around sex work in the first place necessitated that Disney co-produced via Touchstone Pictures rather than its home brand. Do you have anything in this shop as beautiful as she is? Oh yes, number 6, 25th Hour. Champagne for my real friends, and real pain for my sham friends. Edward Norton can always be relied upon when it comes to delivering a compelling, even mesmerizing screen presence. Director Spike Lee pulled what's arguably one of the actor's best performances for 25th Hour, a film detailing a man's final days of freedom after being arrested and convicted on drug offenses. This is your honor, you know. What can I say? I messed up. Norton takes some of the best words from David Benioff's screenplay and makes them his own, especially with that monologue. Plus, 25th Hour was also notable for its post-9/11 NYC setting. The film was co-produced between Lee's own 40 Acres and a Mule. Film works in Touchstone Pictures, among others, that was distributed via Buena Vista. Out of business, Simon. Hey, take your children somewhere else. Leave me alone. Number 5. The Joy Luck Club. Who said that R-rated fare needed to be nasty or violent to achieve the rating? The Joy Luck Club was lauded by many critics as one of the best films of the year. Back in 1993, Get Out of My House. You heard me, get out. That said, its dramatic tone and adult themes were never going to go the route of PJ or PG-13 ratings. This was cinema for adults with overarching themes of family history, romance, and loss, we believe, to best quality crap. You're the worst. Because you have best quality heart. Thus, an R rating was absolutely necessary in order to properly tell its story. The Joy Luck Club was distributed by Disney via Buena Vista and produced solely under the creative arm of Hollywood Pictures. You think it is so easy. One day quit. Next day play. Number 4. Good Morning, Vietnam. There are a lot of great movies by which to remember the enduring legacy of Robin Williams. This hit from 1987 has perhaps been forgotten by some of the years, which makes now the perfect time for some Ray investigation. Excuse me, sir. Seeing as how the VP is such a VIP, shouldn't we keep the PC on the QT? Cause if it leaks to the VC, you can end up in MIA, and then we'd all be put on KP. Good Morning, Vietnam was loosely based upon the life of a real person. Former Air Force Sergeant and DJ Adrian Cronauer. Williams' performance clearly helped audiences connect with the story. Good Morning, Vietnam. Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. However, both the language and play, as well as the wartime setting, made it virtually impossible for Good Morning, Vietnam to pass rating boards without anything less than NR. Disney co-produced this venture through Touchstone Pictures. Welcome back. Thank you, Sergeant. I've missed you. Number 3. High Fidelity. Jack Black was still rising in the comedy ranks when he co-starred with John Cusack in this comedy gem from 2000. Why don't you tell her about the store? Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was classified information. High Fidelity was adapted from a 1995 novel, and it honestly earns its R rating primarily due to its language. The film isn't super violent or too sexually explicit, but is instead a fun character piece about a music obsessive, his love life, and his career running a record store. How can someone who has no interest in music own a record store? Black steals a lot of scenes in High Fidelity. But yeah, there's also a lot of cursing to be found here. So Disney was never going to slap Cinderella's castle on this bad boy. Well, that's unfortunate because it sucks ass. Instead, the film was co-funded by Touchstone and distributed by, you guessed it, Buena Vista. Number 2. Ed Wood. There's admittedly a surface-level whimsy to 1994's Ed Wood. Boy, distinct. So perhaps in an alternate universe, it could have been released under the Disney name proper. Who would himself worked within the exploitation movie industry. Yes, I'm Ed Wood here about directing the Christine Jorgensen picture. That combined with the difficulties Heinous pure-faced meant that this dramatized biopic required a layer of distance from the House of Mouse. Enter Disney's ever-reliable Touchstone Buena Vista tag team. And you have a recipe for director Tim Burton to work his magic. Ed Wood is an incredibly heartfelt work, and practically bleeds from the screen with sincerity, warmth, and humor. Excuse me, sir. Yes, Well, I'm a young filmmaker and a real big fan. I just wanted to meet you before we unveil our top pick. Here are a few honorable mentions. Nix on Oliver Stone's dramatic presidential biopic. The government cannot survive with a counter-government inside it. I know how traitors operate. I've dealt with them all of my life. Down and Out in Beverly Hills earned Disney its very first MPAR rating. Oh, Mr. Whitman, oh. Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion language earned this lovable flick at our rating. You know what, I bet that's not true. You are really unpleasant. G.I. Jane intense drama and language meant the Disney name was a no-go. What is your father's name? Simple question, Lieutenant. No reason not dance unless you want to bleed. Enemy of the State. A high-intensity espionage action flick from director Tony Scott. What do you think it is? It looks a lot bigger than the tape. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos, or all of them if you're on your phone. Make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Tombstone. Here's a question. Is 1993's Tombstone the best modern Western ever made? Those men you killed were my friends. I'm just a nothing, but if I was, and I fight you right now, so I don't want to talk to you. This epic flick from director George P. Cosmatos and screenwriter Kevin Jarre certainly possesses a tendency to top list. That type, it's no wonder considering its stellar ensemble cast, startling violence, and endlessly quotable dialogue. I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game. There's a style at play here that's slick. Perhaps less stodgy than Westerns of old, making it a perfect entry point for younger viewers to appreciate the genre. Make no mistake, however, the action here is intense. And now for the pain of heart, come on now. But hey friend, this essentially means that Disney needed to co-produce this thing under Hollywood Pictures, while also handling the North and South American distribution via Buena Vista. What's the wildest flick Disney ever covertly produced?